Hi, I'm Daniel Böhm. I restored a lot of films for the Hungarian Film Archive. I'd like to show you a new method that we started to develop. First, I'd like to show you this short video.
Welcome to sounddesign.hu, introducing a new method for preserving and restoring optical soundtracks. In this demonstration, we'll listen to the differences in sound from an authentic film projector, a modern digital film sound scanner, and our readout of the scanned 35mm film frames. Let's listen to a short dialogue sampled from the 1934 Hungarian film Dream Car. Notice the differences in clarity and background noise.
Te nem utazol.
Hát egyelőre nem.
Jó. 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 Te nem utazol.
Hát egyelőre nem.
Jó.
In our next sample, you'll hear music and dialogue from the same film.
Nézze. Milyen szép.
Milyen furcsa ilyen messziről a város. Nincs kicsi ház, nincs nagy palota. Ilyen messziről olyan szép egyforma minden.
Nézze. Milyen szép.
Milyen furcsa ilyen messziről a város. Nincs kicsi ház, nincs nagy palota. Ilyen messziről olyan szép egyforma minden.
Nézze. Milyen szép.
Milyen furcsa ilyen messziről a város. Nincs kicsi ház, nincs nagy palota. Ilyen messziről olyan szép egyforma minden.
Nézze. Milyen szép.
Milyen furcsa ilyen messziről a város. Nincs kicsi ház, nincs nagy palota. Ilyen messziről olyan szép egyforma minden.
With our new method, preserve film sound as picture frames. Restore sound at any future time using the original scan of the optical soundtrack. Be future-proof. Avoid damaging film reels. Get the soundtrack in a single scanning process. Extract the sound from any damaged or unplayable material. Remove clicks and crackles from the sound picture. Automate and customize settings from edit to edit offline. Time-saving, cost-effective restoration in unparalleled quality. sounddesign.hu.
In 2015, I had an invitation from the Hungarian Film Laboratory to restore films. And there I learned a lot from Poják János and Petr Gábor and many others who's professionals in film and film sound restore. And our problem was always that we couldn't do anything offline with the film sound. And during the scanning, there came an idea that what if we could just do it offline, not in real time, so we don't have to play the old film reels again and again and use them. And My teacher in the film university, Dr. Erdei Gábor, had an invention in around 2002 that they could scan well-known Hungarian old film soundtrack, Ludas Matyi, offline. It took a long time at that time because the computers were so slow, and they always had to optimize also the procedure because computers were slow. Nowadays, computers are really lightning fast. And when I talked to my best friend, who's an astrophysicist at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore for 20 years, I told him my problem. And he said that, oh, physicist works with a 35 millimeter film for a long time, because before all the astrophysicists took pictures on 35 millimeter film, so they just had to restore their own photographs to identify if it's dirt or if it's a star, for example. And the big thing in this is that many universities, many people try to put together scanned pictures into a soundtrack again. But what we could do is we could also clean the picture of the soundtrack. So to go through this, so normally you put your film reel on a scanner. That is actually a modern version of a film projector. You have to play back in real time the film to get the sound out of it. The only difference between a new nowadays film sound scanners and an old film projector is it has a digital camera in it and the software reads out the sound. Because of this, you have one version of the sound that you already converted into sound from the picture. And you cannot stop all the time at every edits, every cuts, and readjust the readouts parameters, because then you just have to rewind the film again and again and use it, which is not good for old archive films. Also, unplayable films cannot be read out in this way, because if you need a sprocketless scanner to play back that really damaged material, that really damaged 35 millimeter film, then you won't be able to play it back in real time on a film sound scanner. In the offline version, the big thing for me is that now, for example, Scanity film scanner now has 4.5 density of dynamic range, I can say. So this means that a black and white film has about 3.5 density. So all the dynamic range of a black and white film or a black and white film soundtrack can be scanned with a picture scanner. And while we scan the picture on the left side, we have the soundtrack. And the other thing is, I think it's a new way for preservation of sound, because on 500 gigabyte, which is really small amount of data, if you compare it to the picture that is saved on archive LTO tapes and other things. So on 500 gigabyte of storage, you can store the whole picture of a 96 minutes feature film's soundtrack. And this picture is containing nearly all the data that's the original soundtrack contained. So anytime in the future, you can just get this picture back again, put it together, and have a soundtrack that you can restore with the newer methods. So, because every 5 years there's a new method, we know. The goal is to not only read out the sound, but to restore first the soundtrack's picture, and then the cleaned out picture can be read out. And this means that on the digital sound restoration part, we can do less, which means that it sounds better, because all those digital sound restoration modules are damaging the sound. In the offline restoration process, we can easily identify the dirt and the other problems on the film, and we can just have a clear soundtrack before we read it out again. to sound. Also, for example, in the Scanity or other scanners, there's a wet gate option. So you can even scan your film with the wet gate and have less problems. So thank you.